All right, hi everybody. I decided to pick up a few more, couple of more small box sets or small packs of figures at the Fire and Sword shop in Warsaw. And I decided to get more Transylvanians. So I got a pack of Székly Infantry, and I got a pack of these Székly handgunners. So the Székly are a Hungarian ethnic group. They speak Hungarian, but they live in what's the Carpathian Mountains, mostly in Romania, and there's some other groups in Serbia and elsewhere. But at any rate, they were part of Transylvania in the early modern Renaissance period. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and open these up, and we can take a look at them. And they will be part of, I think I'll use these as part of the Transylvanian component of the Ottoman army at Setsora in 1622. So I'll go ahead and open the infantry first, and we can look at them. Okay, so we've got a few different poses here, and it looks like the unit is a pike and musket formation, which is nice. So these are different than the Polish Hungarian style infantry pack that the Wargamer makes for Fire and Sword, which is just musketeers with no pike, and then it's just there is one pike, but it's for the flag carrier. But we've got a few different poses here. So we've got a guy holding pike at sort of at the ready. Now, normally in 28 millimeter, I don't really like having the pikes modeled out like this, just because the figures are bigger. But I think in 15 mil, it'll be okay because it doesn't take up that much space really. And I think I could probably put these into into one of those just plastic storage boxes I got from the store, and they should have no problem. And you do get the bases, of course, in the pack. I wanted to mention that, so these are basically the same dimensions as the wooden ones you can get from Litco. I think, I forget the exact measurements, but if you order some of these plastic bases from Fire and Sword and then you want to mix figures from other companies, the Litco makes bases that are basically the same dimensions, just in wood, and then they have just sharp corners instead of round. But essentially, you can have them based up the same as, like elements of 3 per base, or yeah. So that's convenient. I'm sure you probably could find these bases somewhere. I just don't know who makes them. But I like the wood ones too. They're fine. So yeah, just talking about that real quick. And then got a handgunner standing. Yeah, pretty similar to the Polish infantry I did a video on probably a couple months ago now, but it's like a little bit different. Got another pikeman ready. We've got a gunner kneeling, and we've got one standing. So I guess if you wanted to, I'm not going to count them up here on camera, but I think you could probably have these guys like in bases where you've got like maybe like 3 ranks or something, of like, one, get the standing guys in the back, then you've got the standing firing, and then you've got the kneeling. But anyway, I don't think that's necessary really, or required, but you do get a few different pose options there. Not a lot of flash on these guys, I noticed, compared to the ones I just covered the other day. We also have a pikeman kneeling. And it seems like these guys take the pikes pretty well. I think with some super glue, it would fit in quite well. You've got because the hand is pretty open. You could probably glue a little bit across the chest just to make sure it stays on. And then it seems like it anchors into the closed hand well enough. So that's nice. That's always frustrating with these any kind of pike miniatures when the hands just don't really work that well. I've had problems with my assault group Ottomans, just probably mostly due to my modeling skill, but the pikes don't really fit into the hands as well as I would like. And then this is probably the command figure, or the part of the command figure, the base, the flag carrier. So it looks like we've got another pikeman at ready. And this guy's hand is modeled slightly differently, but should be able to uncurl that with some pliers, and it should fit pretty well. So that's these guys. I think they're a nice little unit with the pike and musket formation, so that's good. Another unit to add to the pile. I've been kind of slower than I would have liked this last several months with the project, but just been having a lot of stress from life and my academic work, so kind of makes it hard sometimes for me to focus on painting. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and open up the other pack, and then we can take a look at these guys. Okay, so these guys are kind of mixed with mounted and dismounted troops. You get a handful of you get enough horses basically for all the mounted guys. One of you guys on the last video said that the horses for this range are not that good. The horses in terms of the sculpt quality don't necessarily bother me. I mean, I don't know, I'm just not really very judgmental about horses as long as they look like a horse. But I will say that the legs are a little tend to bend easily, but I just don't think that there's really much that you could do about that. I don't think that's like a sign of low quality, just because like the legs are small. It's a 15 millimeter figure, but if you do buy these, it's just something to keep in mind that sometimes you kind of have to do this with the legs to get them to straighten out. Anyway, and then sometimes the figures you do have to kind of bend the legs a little bit to get them to mount up to the horse, or use a lot of glue. So we've got mounted and dismounted figures. Unlike the Haijuks, these guys don't seem to have the fur cloaks, but they're similar kind of figures. These are also Székly infantry, or dragoons, I guess. So we've got a mix of standing and mounted. Looks like there was kind of a casting issue with this guy. His unless I'm mistaken, it seems like part of a chunk of the weapon of the musket is gone. Well, anyway, it's bound to happen. I mean, I've never noticed any. Can't remember anything about a figure doing that. So another guy with musket, kind of a holding it downward, mounted. They look like they're supposed to have like a wheel lock kind of carbine or something. I can't really tell actually. Yeah, but essentially they look like it's like a dragoon unit, and you've got two dismounted bases and one mounted base. Got the command. It is interesting that some of these units don't have like a designated banner carrier. Probably makes sense for a unit like this, where they're more of like a scouting or kind of fast unit. Probably don't need a banner. This guy, we've got one guy that's like drawing his sword. That's a neat pose. What else? Another figure firing. Guy carrying his musket like that on his horse. And yeah, this is what I mean about the legs. It's kind of loose, even with glue. Sometimes it can be tricky to get them to mount. So probably have to take pliers and when I start to work on these guys and make sure they squeeze the legs so they fit onto the horse. Yeah, so that's those are the figures. Not much else to say other than they're an interesting unit. I didn't realize that they had so many different Hungarian, Transylvanian sets, and I think definitely you could use these guys if you wanted to represent, Transylvanians or Hungarians from Habsburg Hungary and this kind of 1500 1700 period. I think there would be no problem, considering a lot of the Habsburg garrisons in Hungary were manned by Hungarian troops, so would have no problem fitting them here. And like I said, the Transylvanians did ally with the Ottomans at certain points in time, so you can use them as sort of Ottoman auxiliaries if you wanted to do that. I mean, Transylvania paid tribute to the Ottomans, but they didn't really always take part in kind of field, combat or war operations. Although in the case of, like I mentioned in the last video, this one leader, Betlen Gabor, he did fight with the Ottomans at Setsora. So yeah, so those are the figures. like I said, I'm kind of trying to stock up while I'm here, and then bring a lot back. I think the next thing I'll get is I'll see if they still have in stock the Transylvanian box set, and then depending on how well, we'll see. I mean, I might if I can get enough. As soon as I can get paid again, I think I might go ahead and just pick up Transylvanian skirmish box set, Tatar, and maybe the Cossack one as well. But we'll see. I mean, the other thing is I can just keep mixing in figures um, from Khorasan, and I should have two good sized armies. I'll have to. I think in the spring when I can sit down and refocus on painting, I'll have to get everything together on the table, because I want to make sure for this game the Ottoman army is large enough to give a sense of the scale of the Ottoman army, and see, if I need to add more cavalry, especially. And yeah, so I think whenever I can run this game, it'll be interesting. I think scenario wise, it's one of those sort of defense against overwhelming odds kind of situations, with the Polish Lithuanian army being on the lower numbers, being in lower numbers, and having to defend against a larger army. So could be interesting for convention gaming, and I'm hoping I can put it on sometime in this coming year. That would be nice, but that's always a matter of cost, and especially if I want to travel to Historicon or one of the other conventions, that's something I have to budget, and unfortunately, doing academic work is not the most lucrative career. But anyway, I don't want to complain too much more on this video. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you all in the next video.